have your own family right now, you have daughter and wife, and so we think we want to ask, is it hard for you to change from now? Like, it's hard for you to move on to new cities or a new country, or are you gonna afraid of it, so you just choose to stay in Taiwan?
The answer is yes. So when I was single, then I would sometimes decide to go somewhere and buy a flight ticket for the next day. So there were quite a few times when I was in Canada, or maybe I was in China, and I would be like, I really need to make a trip to the UK. And so I just buy a flight ticket, and the next day I would be on the plane. I never do that. I plan, like half a year in advance. I mean, even now, I'm already thinking of next summer. Then we'll be going back to England for maybe just a few weeks. And so, I'm thinking of something like 6 months before. Before I used to think of something like 24 hours before. Now I really don't do anything in the last minute. And yeah, I think it is. It is because it's so much harder for a family to make a transition than for an individual. So my advice for you, as you are still young and single, is that now's the time for you to be making I guess risky changes, try new things, when you're still able to. But I mean, within certain limits, certain things that just don't bother. So yeah, I think certainly as I've got older and as I've become a husband and a father, then change becomes a lot harder. I have to admit that. But then, on the other hand, it's also a good thing that I'm not behaving the way in which I behaved when I was in my 20s. Because can you imagine if I go back home today and tell my wife, hey, I decided that I'm going to Singapore tomorrow. What's she gonna say? It's like, excuse me, when do you decide that? Oh yeah, I was talking to this student who's from Singapore, and she was telling me just how good the肉骨茶is there, how much better it is in Taiwan. I said, oh yeah, I have to go there. So it's going to be very hard for her and also for our whole family to make that transition if I'm constantly changing. So I think it is good. It is a good thing for one to experience the difficulty of change, so that you're not constantly forcing other people to change as well. So it's like just bearing in mind that whatever change you make is going to affect everyone else. When I was young, I didn't really think about that. I didn't think that, okay, my decisions will affect other people, so I can't too quickly make a change. Just like, I feel like it, it seems a good idea, so I'll do it. But now I constantly have to think about everyone around me who will be affected by any decision I make. So it's harder, but it's good that it's hard as well.